Alright, putting these three in order for 21 is pretty easy. We've got 27 in the whole number spot here for all of them, so we know that's the same, so we can move on to the tens place. We've got 9 there, those are all the same. Here's where we're going to get some difference. We've got 4 here, 3 here, and 4 here in the hundreds. 3 is smaller than the other two, so this is going to be the smallest one right here, so we can be done with that one. Now we've got 4 and 4, those are even. 8 and 6, 6 is smaller than 8. This would be number 2. And that would be number 3. And then this one's common sense probably if you just line them all up, because 939 thousandths is smaller than 946 thousandths. And then this one's bigger than them all, 948 thousandths. Alright, here's 22. And the quickest thing, or the easiest thing I think to do here, is just make them so they're all in the same place value. So right now this one's in the hundredths, but these two are in the thousandths. So I'm just going to add 1 0 here, and then that should make it pretty easy. Those are all the same, those are all the same, those are all the same. Now we know we've got 0 in the thousandths place here, so that's the smallest. 4 in the thousandths place, 8 in the thousandths place. And for 23, the biggest one is going to be easiest because this is 2 holes and these aren't even, or these are just 1, and this is more than 2. So I'm going to put a 3 by that one because that's clearly going to be the biggest one. Now if we go to the next numbers, I can do what I did in the last one. I can even these up here is fine, but really you wouldn't have to because I've got a 2 in the 10th place here, a 5 in the 10th place here. 2 is clearly smaller than 5, so this is going to be the smallest, followed by this, followed by our one that's 2 holes. But if we do even it up, 1 in 50 hundredths is going to be bigger than 1 in 23 hundredths, so this would be our order. Don't let the appearance of these numbers fool you because they do look very similar, but they're a lot different. We've got 11 holes in all of them, so I don't need to worry about that at all. Now the next column is very telling because I've got 6 tenths here and no tenths here. So that's definitely going to be the biggest one. So I can put a 3 right there already. I know that. So we're done with this one. Okay. Now the other two, they're similar up to the tenths, similar up to the hundredths, similar up to the thousands. But when we get to the 10 thousandths, I've got a 6 here, but I have no 10 thousandths here. So if I have a 6 here, that's definitely going to be bigger than a 0. So this one would be the smallest, followed by this one right here. Again, I can just start off by, and this is maybe the easiest one of all of them because all the place values are evened up here. 3 holes is bigger than anything that goes after 2 holes and 2 holes here. So that's definitely going to be the biggest, so I'll put a 3 beside it. This is really close to another hole. This is close to 3 holes, but not quite. If I had 4 more hundredths, that would go up to a 0 and that would go up to a 3, so I would have 3 holes here. This one I'm 16 away from the next hole, so this one's going to be the smallest one, followed by this one. And then we've got our 3 and 2 hundredths would be the biggest one. Again, never be fooled by the length of the numbers because the 10th place is worth far more than the hundredths place, which is worth far more than the thousandths place. So for these, we have no whole numbers. These two look like longer numbers, but they're definitely not. We've got 2 tenths here. Okay, 2 tenths is bigger than 1 tenth here and 1 tenth here, so this is going to be our biggest one. We could have also put a 0 here just to see that 2,170 10 thousandths is bigger than 1,146 10 thousandths, which is bigger than that. Now these two are really close. This one is just 1 10,000th bigger than this one right here. So this would be your smallest one, followed by our number 2 right there, and number 3 was the one that had 2 tenths instead of 1 tenth. They're going to try to get you with the varying lengths of these numbers too for this one, and the whole number parts of this here. This one's actually pretty easy if you just do the whole number parts of it and look at how it looks here. Whole numbers, 31 holes, 31 holes, 3 holes, 30 holes, 310 holes. 310 is way bigger than any of the ones we have here, so that's going to be our biggest one, which would be a 5, number 5. And on these, I'm hardly even going to look at the decimals at all, to be honest with you. 3 holes is way smaller than anything else we have here, so that's going to be a 1. And if you line up your decimal points, it's easy to see what the numbers on the other side of the whole, or the other side of the decimal point look like, without even really looking at the decimals right now. Now, if I go to the next number here, 30 is smaller than 31 and 31, so that's going to be number 2. Now really my only decision is between 31 and 7/10 and 31 and 7/100. But that's really a no-brainer, because if I have 7/10 and 0/10, it takes 3 more hundredths just to get another tenth in there. Okay, so I don't even have any tenths, so that one's got to be the bigger of the 2. So this one is going to be a 3, with this being a 4 right there. I could have also done that and saw that I have 70 hundredths here, where I only have 7 hundredths here. So this one would clearly be bigger than this one right here. All right, maybe the toughest out of all these, but it really shouldn't have to be. Okay, so let's go from smallest to biggest here and see how it works out. So if we're going to smallest to biggest, we want to start with the ones with 1 hole in the ones place, because the ones with 2 holes are going to be bigger than the ones with 1 holes already. So let's look at this one, and this one. Okay, 1/10, 2/10, 2/10. 1/10 is the smallest. Okay, 2/10, 2/10, 2/100, only 1/100. So we're going to have 2 and then 3. Now we need to go with the ones with the 2 hole numbers in the front here. There's 2 holes, 2 holes, and 2 holes. So we've got 2/10, 2/10, 1/10. It's going to be number 4. 2/10 and 2/10, 2/100, and only 1/100. So that's going to be the next one right there, leaving 6 to be 2 and 22 hundredths.